Welcome to Fantasy Football Aces. It's your boy, William Wolf. I'm back. And today is week 5, Thursday night football. We have your boy, Chicago Bears playing. We know I'm a big Bears fan, a big Bulls fan, big Cubs fan. And yes, I know the Bears suck. You don't have to remind me. My first guest is Bree, as usual. Bree, you got anything to say? You're a good girl. So, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about the Diamond League, our predictions in the Diamond League. We're going to talk about the Bears and the Washington Commanders and our thoughts on that game. Start sits in that game. I have a huge decision in the Diamond whether I'm going to start Justin Fields or I'm going to start Matthew Stafford Sunday. So I told you on today I was going to have to make that decision, obviously, because Justin Fields is playing tonight. And yeah, I'm going to make that decision. It's still not final in my brain. So we're going to think about it some more and make a decision a little later. We're going to make the pick of the week, Thursday Night Football, which I am undefeated on so far this year. Have not lost. The only loss that I have, or the only thing I have, is a push on that Lions-Eagles game. The Vikings backdoor pushed my Eagles pick. Besides that, it is a full-on undefeated Thursday Night Football. We got Washington at -6 today at home against the Bears. I got a special guest, Easy, in the house, the sharp man himself. He's going to give you an over-under and give you some more statistics that he knows. This is actually his second time appearing on the podcast, but the first time was not aired, unfortunately, because I screwed up and I didn't start the stream, and we did 2 hours, and at the end there was no content. It was not streaming. So it was extremely disappointing. That was my best podcast that I had so far to this date, and it is just lost in the world. It'll never be seen. I got a comment already. It sounds like from my vision from over here that it's somebody that I probably know. So we'll figure that out in a second. We got, yo, go Packers. They're singing go Pack go. Go Pack go. That's got to be somebody I know. But yeah, the Packers suck ass too. So join me, man. Misery likes company. I don't think Jordan Love is good. I think he sucks. And I think it's going to be a long season for the Packers. As a matter of fact, I think that they've overachieved so far, and nothing but bad things are coming to them the rest of the year. So join me, man. Let's just accept the fact that the Lions are the best team in the division, and it's not a fun time right now to be a Bears fan or a Packers fan. Let's get into the Diamond, though. Let me grab my mouse. So, let's get into the Diamond. And we're going to talk about Fantasy Football Aces versus I am Gary M., the nicest guy I know. I am nice, as you see here. You can't even see it on your screen. That sucks. Let me fix that for you. Let me show you. You can't see it, but his name is I am nice, as you can see here now when that clears up. Right there on my mouse. But we'll go into the matchup. So, currently I have Matthew Stafford playing as my quarterback. I have Justin Fields on the bench. And I have James Cook on the bench. I am going to start Raheem Mostert in Miami against the New York Giants. I know that there's a new running back in town, the rookie, Akne, who is balling out of control. But that offense is going to run 50-50 all year. I anticipated Jeff Wilson Jr. being that guy. Now it's Akni. So there's nothing different there. Raheem Mostert is the RB1. He's the guy who's going to start the game out. If he runs the ball well, he'll get 60% snap share. If he doesn't, then they'll move on to Von Akni. But overall, I've noticed in their scheme, in Miami's scheme, they've been using both running backs. They've been putting Raheem Mostert as the motion guy. They've been using him on like essentially as the jet sweep guy, the guy that they're fake it to, and then hand the ball off to Devon. Vice versa, they'll do the same thing. They're going to get speed on the field as much as they can between Mostert, him, Devon, Tyreek Hill, and Waddle. They'll have all four of those guys on the field a lot. As you notice, they're not using a tight end much, and they're not even using Berrios as much as you would think. So Mostert is a must start almost every week, depending on your roster. Obviously, I have a loaded running back situation with Pollard, Swift, Mostert, and James Cook. So I have the luxury of playing matchups. And at this point, I'm not taking out Pollard or Swift no matter what their matchup is. I just think that they're both solidified RB1s, guys that are going to get goal line carries as well, outside of Jalen Hurts stealing goal line carries himself. Swift primarily is going to be inside the 10-yard line for the Eagles. Pollard, same thing. So those two guys can't come out. Mostert, he's in one of the most, if not the most high-powered offenses in the NFL, and you can make an argument for the Eagles and the Buffalo Bills having high-powered offenses as well. So I'm just lucky. I hit on my draft picks this year, and I have elite running backs across the board. All four of them RB1s. And I have no FOMO or regret about my decision-making. My decision-making is all about, just like my show, Fantasy Football Aces, just like Pocket Aces. I want to put myself in the best situation and the best chance to win, and I'm not results-oriented. If it doesn't work out, that's fine. I'm going to always go with the best mathematical opportunity in the matchup. And this week, I think James Cook sitting is the right move against Jacksonville. I'd rather roll the dice with Mostert, Swift, and Pollard. Now, when I originally drafted Justin Fields here, I originally had him as a must-start player, matchup-proof week in and week out. But through the first 2 weeks, really the first 2 weeks, because it was the Packers at home and then the Buccaneers on the road, I was quickly shown that Justin was going to end up being a matchup kind of player that I'm going to play from now on. And I have no problem doing that. I ended up picking up Matthew Stafford, as you see up here, and we all witnessed what Puka Nacua has done and Tutu Atwell has done. And with those two guys emerging and Cooper Kupp possibly coming back this week, and Stafford being second in the NFL in passing yards, but only throwing 2 touchdowns, essentially, I think that Stafford is due for some extremely positive regression throwing touchdowns. And I think Matthew Stafford, with Cooper Kupp in the lineup and Puka Nacua, is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in fantasy football this year. He's throwing for 300 yards every single game. The only thing he hasn't done is thrown touchdowns. Kerryon Williams has just been eating like crazy, scoring touchdowns on the goal line. But sooner or later, that's going to shift. It's just inevitable. It's variance. Matthew Stafford's too good, especially with Cooper Kupp on the field. I think Matthew Stafford against Philadelphia at home at SoFi Stadium is going to absolutely light them up. Look at Philadelphia's history. They've played Sam Howell. Sam Howell lit them up at Lincoln Financial in Philly. Look at their other history. They played Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. Baker was a very viable fantasy option that day. They played, let's just look at it here. We got it pulled up so my memory doesn't have to be perfect. They played Mac Jones in New England week 1 on the road, and Mac Jones lit him up. He hasn't lit anybody up besides them. So to me, it looks like Philadelphia is really weak against the pass right now, guys. Should I be worried 1-3 with Stafford, Stroud, Diggs, Lamb, Bijan, Akni, Andrews, and Myers, Hollywood? No. I would play Stafford this week, though. I'm talking about it right now, so I'm kind of answering your question. The Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins lit the Eagles up. Baker Mayfield lit the Eagles up. Sam Howell lit the Eagles up. What do you think Matthew Stafford's going to do, guys? At SoFi, with possibly Cooper Kupp playing a limited time, I think, limited snaps. I think Matthew Stafford's in for a huge day. Now, when I compare him to Justin Fields and what Washington has done on the road, I picked up Washington's defense so far this year. I picked them up this week, I'm sorry. Arizona, they locked them up completely. Then they played Denver on the road. They locked Denver up, and Denver made a great second half comeback in that game. They ended up winning, but they did give up a lot of points in the second half. They had 7 sacks and a pick. Then they play the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles, 2 really high-powered offenses. Now they get a relief game at home on a short week against the Chicago Bears. I think the Washington Commanders have one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. Extremely underrated. Nobody talks about them. They're all first-round picks. Go look it up. Everybody on that D-line's a first-round pick dog. What is the weakness of the Chicago Bears? Their offensive line. The Chicago Bears' offensive line is absolute dog shit. They're getting their left guard back from IR today, though. That could be a help for them. Also, the Bears, these are all contradicting statements. But this past week against Denver, not only can you have to consider the fact that it was against a shitty Denver defense. They did exactly what we wanted them to do. Or I'm just going to say exactly what I wanted them to do. I wanted them to start getting in a lot more pistol. I wanted them to get under the center. I wanted them to get in some T-bone formations, some formations with a couple tight ends on the field, a couple running backs on the field. They did exactly that. They cut Claypool. Get the fuck out of here, Claypool. You're a piece of shit. You're not good at football. You can't block. You have no effort. You're just a pretty boy. Get your pretty boy ass out of the NFL. Let somebody else pick you up. You're never going to be good in the league. Claypool is a disease. He's a virus. You cut him. Now you bring in St. Brown, the brother of the other St. Brown in Detroit, and you get a kid who works hard as anybody and that's the kind of player you want as your third receiver. You bring St. Brown in, you know he's in a block. So the Bears did a lot of bootlegs, a lot of different things that utilize Justin Fields' talent, not sitting back in the gun trying to read like he's Peyton Manning. So it's very contradicting those two different things, because if you look at the first 2 weeks and the first 3 weeks when the Bears played Kansas City on the road, you can make an argument that Washington is going to absolutely destroy the Bears' offensive line and dominate this game in the trenches, and it's going to be a blowout for the Washington Commanders, and you're going to want to sit Justin Fields. But if you just isolate week 4 and you think to yourself, they're going to bring a very similar scheme into Washington because they didn't have as much time to prepare for this week on 3 days. So they're going to bring that scheme right into Washington and roll it out. Essentially an extended version of what their game plan was against Denver. They're going to extend that offensive game plan right into Washington. That's the way you play Thursday Night Football. So it's very contradicting those two things that I'm saying. And that's why I think this game is the hardest game to pick as far as betting is concerned. And for me personally, if I have Justin Fields, I don't know what to do today, because if you look at what's happened with the Commanders on defensively, they've really struggled against Russell Wilson in this game. They really struggled against Josh Allen, and they really struggled against Justin Hurts. What do those 3 guys have in common? They can move. They can run. So you think to yourself, logically, I mean, Justin Fields should be doing the same thing. Granted, he doesn't have the weapons that Josh Allen and Hurts has. I'd argue that his weapons are equally as good as Sutton and Judy right now in Denver, though. So it's very difficult. I think Justin Fields would be a must start for me in most situations if you have him out there, guys. But I happen to have Stafford, and I think Kupp might play a little bit. And I just really like what I've seen so far as what Philadelphia has given up defensively. The Rams are one of the most pass-happy offenses in the NFL. They're not going to try to run the ball in Philly, which Philly's really good at stopping the run. So I think Stafford has a huge game, guys, and he's just a safe floor guy. I think he's due for some positive regression throwing the ball for touchdowns. And I rather not risk Fields this week. Next week, week 6, you see here, Justin Fields plays at home. He's playing on the road in Washington tonight. He plays at home against Minnesota next week. I'm playing Justin Fields next week, guys. And Stafford's going against Arizona next week. But guess what? I want the high ceiling from Justin. The Stafford's never going to put up 40 points. Justin Fields definitely can put up 40 points in fantasy. So this week, I just think it's the safe play. I'm playing a really shitty I Am Nice team, a team that's 1-3. I don't think I need to take any risk. I don't need to go for the high ceiling with Justin Fields. He's on the road against Washington, against a really good defensive line. I just believe that the smart play is playing Stafford at home against Philly, which before the year started, I would have never said that. I would have said, there's no fucking way I'm starting Stafford over Fields on the road at home against Philadelphia, which is, in my opinion, one of the best defenses in the NFL. They've just been really bad, really, really bad against the pass this year. And Stafford's slinging. He's fucking slinging. I got a couple people messaging me. Let's see what they're talking about. Randy Miller is blowing me up. Traded T. Law, A.J. Brown, and Tank for Lamar, Devontae Smith, and Roschon Johnson. 4-point passing, 12-man. I'm 1-3. Took the Bears under 19.5. Took under 44. Took under Herbert rushing 48.5. In my opinion, the Bears are going to absolutely struggle tonight. The Denver defense is the worst defense in the league as seen in decades. I think the Bears are the worst defense in the league, but Denver's right up there. Current roster, Lamar, Brees, Gibbs, Ford, Waddle, Devontae, Zay Flowers, Amon-Ra, and Goddard. Also traded ETN for Gibbs and Waddle. Yeah, man, sounds like you like to trade, buddy. I don't like to trade nearly as much as you. I draft dogs. As you see, every single one of my players is I drafted except Nico Collins and Puka. I picked both those guys up because they're dogs. I don't agree with the Bears under 19.5. I don't agree with the under 44.5, but I have Eric Easy in the house who is going to give his pick on the over-under. He's an over-under specialist, so I'll give you his thoughts on that. But I think that as far as the over-under is concerned tonight, I like Herbert under 48.5. I do like that. I like that for sure. As far as the over-under is concerned and the Bears 19.5 over and under, it's just a coin flip tonight, guys. I told you, I went on a long rant just a second ago about all the different reasoning of why I think it could go either way here, man. The Bears really changed their offensive game plan last week. They did exactly what I wanted them to do. I know it was against the Denver Broncos, but that's irrelevant to me. In my opinion, for my money, if the Bears run out a game plan like they did last week against any team in the NFL, they're going to succeed. That's how special Justin Fields is. They fucking did what they were supposed to. They got in pistol. They got in the T-bone formation. They got under center. And they ran a bunch of bootlegs. They were sending out 3 receivers, blocking everybody else. We're not sending out 5 receivers, 4 receivers. Making it simple on Justin. Let's block up front. A couple reads. If the reads aren't there, check down or take off. And that's exactly what they did. I think that the defensive line for Washington has an opportunity tonight to destroy the game. And I think that it's possible that they completely lock the Bears up. But like I said, with the game plan that you saw the Bears throw out Sunday, it was completely different. Trust me, I watch every snap. I try to take pride in literally watching the tape of every single game in the NFL every single week. That's how in tune and how passionate and how much I take this seriously. But when it comes to the Bears, take that to times 20 because that's how hard I pay attention to what they're doing. And yeah, they really impressed me last week with not the box score, not the way Justin performed, not with the game script or how the game turned out and the scoreboard. They impressed me with their game plan, their formations, the way they actually tried to attack the defense. It wasn't anything like the first 3 weeks. Throw it all out the window. It's almost as if it was a completely different offense. They hadn't run pistol all year. They were in pistol like primarily in that game. A ton of 3 receiver sets with Amon-Ra St. Brown the other St. Brown, the Bear St. Brown, and obviously Mooney and DJ Moore. And Mooney's good. I thought it was kind of bizarre that we've gotten so far away from Mooney this year in the first place. I was like, damn, we're really buying into Claypool. And then Claypool's done nothing but suck. He'll never be in the league again, that pretty boy-ass motherfucker. He's trash. So we went with a dog in St. Brown, a dude that actually wants to block, who wants to do the dirty work, who doesn't care about getting his number called as far as his statistics go in the box score. He just wants to win. And Mooney's fine. He's fast. He could run routes. I think he's perfect for what they want to do. Run a lot of 2 receiver sets like they did last week. Bring Kmet in and Tanyan in at the same time. Bring in Herbert and Roschon Johnson at the same time. And let's bundle them up. Let's run some pistol. Let's make the defense really commit to the run so we can bootleg them and we can have easy little reads in the flats. It's a very tough game to predict, especially a Thursday night game where neither team gets a chance to truly game plan for the other team. They essentially have to just roll out the game plan they had from the week prior. And that's pretty simple for Washington considering they just played Jalen Hurts and now they're playing Justin Fields. I'd say they're pretty similar quarterbacks. One just has a lot more weapons than the other. I'm a believer that you put Justin in the situation that Jalen's in, he'd be doing just as well. That's just what I think. I think the talent. I think Justin's more talented, and that's non-biased. I just really do. I think that a lot of these guys, they're drafted into situations that are better than others. I mean, Josh Allen, he got blessed into getting Stephon Diggs, because if he didn't get Stephon Diggs, I think he was in trouble in Buffalo personally. He makes a lot of mistakes. Yeah, I'm 4-0, but I drafted really well when it came to my running backs. I hit on all of them. DeAndre Swift, Tony Pollard, Raheem Mostert for $1. I draft salary cap. We draft salary, so I got Raheem Mostert for $1. And that was lucky. I fully admit that. Jeff Wilson got hurt, and then he just became the lead guy, and he looks fantastic. Now, obviously, Ockney's in the picture, but they're 50-50. And then James Cook. I hit on James Cook. I missed on Justin Fields so far, but I've been smart. I didn't start him against the Chiefs. I'm able to analyze it and not be emotional about things and play him in the right spots. So tonight, for example, I think Justin's a good play. I don't have a problem if you throw Justin out there this week. Today, I should say. For me personally, though, there's no point of taking the risk. I'm a favorite this week. I like my team. I just think Stafford is a really good floor guy. I think he's guaranteed to throw for 300 yards against Philadelphia. And it's a win-win for me because Puka Nacua, if Kupp doesn't come back, Puka's going to have a huge game against Philly. He'll have another 10 receptions, another at least 70 yards, and if we're lucky, a touchdown. But I'll take 10 and 70 all day. If Kupp comes back, then I still think Puka has a pretty good game. Probably 8 catches, 60, 70 yards plus, and if we're lucky, a touchdown. But then Stafford has another weapon, and I'm just really intrigued to see what Sean McVay does when he has both of those guys, because I think he's going to be absolutely dirty. I think that offensive scheme is going to be better than it ever has been. in for the Rams. The only other time it was probably better is when they had Todd Gurley, and Todd Gurley had that monster year. But besides that, I think Tutu Atwell running deep routes with Puka Nacua and Kupp just eating people up in the middle and inside the numbers and underneath, I think it's going to be extremely difficult to stop. And I really am high on Matthew Stafford the rest of the year, especially with Cooper Kupp. So for me, that's a win-win. Like I said, if Kupp doesn't play, more time, more targets for Puka. And if he does play, then I think that's bodes well for Stafford. I really don't mind playing Fields though tonight, guys. I really don't. I've been going back and forth on it all week. I'm not afraid to play him. I got the balls to do it. I just don't see there any point to do it. I'm going to play Washington's defense too this week because the Bears have been the they've been the third or the first. Let's see. I want to say they're the third. Come on, get rid of that. Come on, why you keep showing me that? I don't want to see that. The second. So the Bears have been the second best team to face as a defense. And that's because their offensive line sucks. They're going to get sacked a bunch. So I think both things can happen. I think Justin Fields going to have a good game for fantasy, and Washington does really well defensively with getting 6-7 sacks, a fumble, and a pick. But I'm going to roll with Stafford. That decision's final. I'm actually going to start Justin Fields in a different league, so I still get a chance to see him a little bit. But I'm mostly going to stick with that. In this matchup, as I said, guys, I'm facing a really bad team this week, and they have Amari Cooper on a bye, Deshaun Watson on a bye, so he's starting Dobbs. He's got Atwell in there. I have Stafford to block him on that. He has Gabe Davis, St. Brown, Ramondre Stevenson, and Kamara. Ramondre's been disappointing. He's going against a tough Saints defense. Kamara is, who knows? He's a wild card. I know he had 13 catches last week. I think that was fluke. But he's playing in New England, this team this week, who I imagine Bill Belichick is going to be, going to be his guy he wants to stop the most, Kamara. Mark that down. I want to stop Kamara. He's got Kadarius Toney in the flex. I just don't think this team can beat me. So, yeah, Fantasy Football Aces should go to 5-0 this week, guys. It should be an easy win. This team has barely scored over 110 all year. Moving on to the 2-3 GOAT versus Korea. I'm not going to waste a ton of time on this pick. I will say that I think Devon Achane is going to have a huge game. I think Khalil Herbert will get locked up tonight. I believe Curtis Samuel and Scary Terry will have decent games, but nothing much. I think this matchup's going to come down whether or not Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs connect a bunch again. If they connect a bunch again, Korea's going to win. If not, I think this balanced approach 2-3 GOAT, who is 1-3 at the moment, could get their second win. They said that they're going to unleash Breece Hall this week, and he's going against the number one worst rush defense in the NFL, the Broncos. If the Jets are telling the truth and they're really going to let Breece Hall run the ball 20 times, I definitely think that 2-3 GOAT can pull out a win. And I also think that this team is trending in the right direction if Breece Hall is getting the work. Jahmyr Gibbs, I don't believe he will get the work at all. I just think that that situation's fucked, and Montgomery's the guy. So you just kind of hope that he gets a touchdown here soon, and that can kind of help you out in the week. And I know, final thought, Randy Miller, you said out there that you had Gibbs. I'd sit Gibbs on the bench until he starts to give you more volume and get more opportunities, man. I don't think you can throw him out there anymore. It's just it looks like you have a lot of depth. I would play other people. I would let Gibbs marinate more. He just needs more opportunities. You should. There's something to be said about drafting players on good offenses and then not drafting teams on players on bad offenses. It sounds really simple and logical, but I've said this before and I'll say it again. Minnesota Vikings are a really good example of a team that I wouldn't want to draft anybody on their team. And it sounds wild because it's Justin Jefferson's on that offense. But My thing is in the same place that Justin Jefferson was getting drafted this year in fantasy, you could have drafted Christian McCaffrey. So I would have chosen Christian McCaffrey over him, and that would be the right decision. You're getting a 3-down horse dog opposed to a receiver who's relying on lots of different variables to get the ball. And I know Justin Jefferson's been tremendous this year, and he'll continue to do so. I just believe that your best approach is staying away from teams that you believe are not going to be good. And I thought personally the Vikings were going to regress tremendously this year. And I think we still haven't even seen the worst of them yet. I think that you're going to see a lot worse than them going forward. I think their schedule is a little easier this year. The whole North has an easier schedule this year. So that can help them out a little bit. But overall, their offensive line is not so good, and Madison is losing. Dalvin Cook was huge in my opinion, and they haven't been able to get Jordan Addison for a full snap share yet. So I don't know. As you can see on my team, all my players are in good offenses. And even Sky Moore, who's sitting on my bench, I think it's a matter of time before he gets it going. He's at 60-70% snap share in that Chiefs offense. I still believe in him, but I'm going to let him sit on the bench until he starts getting more targets. In this matchup, I just think that Devon Achne's going to have a huge game. Diggs and Josh Allen are going to continue to roll. I think Korea just wins this game. 2-3 GOAT. He's just having a really hard time scoring, man. He's one of the lowest scoring teams in our league. He's got Metcalf on a bye, Chris Godwin on a bye. I just think he's going to struggle. I'm taking Korea in this matchup. Moving on to Bishop Sycamore versus the Criminals. The Criminals has one guy on a bye, Kenneth Walker III, which is a huge buy for him. He's going to essentially put Tank Dell in instead because I think Garrett Wilson would be there and then Kenneth Walker would be in the flex. So he's essentially playing Tank Dell, which is a great replacement for him. So it's nice to have depth there and be able to throw in a guy like Tank Dell into your lineup when one of your running backs is on a bye. But with that being said, Kenneth Walker is a 3-down horse dog, and it's tough losing him. On the other side, you got Christian McCaffrey and Bijan Robinson. Both of these guys are starting to really roll. They both have good matchups in Dallas and Houston. He's got Najee Harris, who he won't give up on, who's an absolute bum in the flex, but he did have a better game last week against Houston. I think Tua is going to have a monster game against the Giants at home. I'm picking Bishop Sycamore in this one. I think the Criminals are going to really miss out on Kenneth Walker this week. And I'm completely objective on these picks, just so everybody knows out there. I believe that just the Kenneth Walker absence in the Criminals lineup is going to hurt him. And I just think that this firepower from Bijan, Christian, and Tua is just going to be a lot to handle all year. I don't want to play those three guys. It's just that's a really good combination, those three players. And Yahoo likes him a lot too because he's always has a high rated projections. Next up, I don't know if I picked that. Let me go back. I think I did though. Yeah, I picked it. Next up is going to be Comeback Kid versus John's team. I think he's got Saquon Barkley coming back this week. I haven't paid attention to it closely, but he's limited in practice still. Either way, he's got the backup. I know it's not Saquon, but he continues to start Kyle Pitts. I guess he loves pain. I would throw in Hunter Henry if I was him, but he continues to throw out Kyle Pitts. I think that if I was him, I would be starting Hollywood Brown over Adam Thielen, but we'll see what he does. He usually sets his lineup on Sunday. I like his receivers, Olave, Adams, and Sutton. I really do. Lamar Jackson, I think he could be the best. I think he could be the QB1 this year in all of fantasy. I really do think Lamar's, I think that offense is going to continue to heat up as far as the passing game's concerned. I think it's going to progressively get better. And he looks good. He's running the ball great. I think Lamar has an opportunity this year. Joe Burrow has been absolutely atrocious. But, going against Arizona, that's a time to get right? I don't know how serious this Higgins injury is. But if he's out, that's going to be tough. Josh Jacobs, Pierce, he's got Jonathan Taylor coming back this week. I'm going to leave it like this, guys. If Jonathan Taylor comes back this week, I'm taking comeback kid. But if Jonathan Taylor's still out, then I will switch my pick Sunday to John Steen. But this is a very close matchup. I think it's a 50-50 matchup. We're going to go with comeback kid who is 0-4 to get his first victory with Jonathan Taylor back if he comes back. Next up is Team 2 Elite, 4-0. He's first in our league. He's been scoring over $130 every single week. It's been a monster year for him. He's got Herbert on a bye, though, this week, so he's going to have to play Sam Howell tonight. He's got Justin Jefferson, Kirk, Watson, Kyren Williams, Brian Robinson going tonight, who I think will have a good game, Hawkinson, Aaron Jones. It's a very good lineup. I think Sam Howell's going to do good against the Bears. Everybody's doing well against the Bears. Physics Dream Team has Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce. He just traded for Travis Kelce. He made a really good move in the diamond. Got that pair. He ended up losing Kamara in that deal, but he still has Miles Sanders, Javonte, and Derrick Henry. I know Javante's been bad. He spent some fab on McLaurin, so he should be able to replace him if Javante's out. This is a really, really, really close matchup. I think this is going to be the week that Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce connect for like 3 touchdowns, though. I just really do. I just really do. That's what I think. So I'm going with Physics Dream Team. I think this is going to be one of those weeks that his team blows up because Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce just really dominate. Last but not least, we got Automatic Pickens versus Whoopsie. And Whoopsie is 2-2. He possibly can get Cooper Kupp back, but I don't think Cooper Kupp's going to actually play. He's got Jerome Ford on a bye. He's going to have to start Hubbard. With that being said, with Dak Prescott against San Fran and just that matchup in general, I don't like it. I think Automatic Pickens gets a win this week. He's got Eckler on a bye. He's had Eckler hurt for him, but I don't think that's going to matter in this matchup. Right now he's starting. They're saying Cooper Kupp's going to play, guys. Cooper Kupp looks healthy, so that automatically boosted him up to 14 points, and that's good for Stafford too, guys. That's the reason why I'm going to be starting Stafford. So with Ayuk, Lamb, and Prescott, they both are missing a running back. Man, I think I got to roll with Whoopsie now, especially if Cooper Kupp's going to play. They say he looks healthy. They're both missing a starting running back. He's missing Ford. He's missing Eckler. I think Eckler is a lot more important to this gentleman's lineup than Whoopsie's because he has to roll out Tyler Algier and Gus Edwards. So I think Whoopsie's going to win, and I think Lamb's going to be a huge boost for him, man. Or I'm sorry, Cooper Kupp's going to be a huge boost for him. So that'll do it for the Diamond predictions. I will say that Cooper Kupp news makes me very happy for Matthew Stafford, and I'm definitely going to start Matthew Stafford tonight or this week, and I'm going to let Justin Fields take a break this week. I'll start Justin Fields next week against Minnesota at home. I think it's smart to sit Justin on the road for now until he proves that he can play better on the road. He struggled against the Buccaneers. He rushed in 1 touchdown, which kind of saved his day. He struggled against Kansas City. I know those are 2 pretty good defenses. I'd say really good defenses, both of them. I think it's just smart to just take the approach of being cautious and letting him prove it first at this point. let's have a big, even if he has a 40 booger today, he rushes for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, throws for 200 and another. I'm okay with that. I can live with that. I just will know that I'm not taking him out of my lineup again. But Stafford is a smart floor. And with Cooper Kupp back, I just think he's really going to have a big season, guys. I think going forward from here on out, Stafford could be one of the top 5 quarterbacks in fantasy. I just really think that. 300 yards every single week and probably 2 touchdowns at least every single week passing. Puka Nakua's value went down a little bit, it looks like. But I don't think Cooper Kupp is bad for Puka Nacua. I genuinely don't think that. I think that there's an argument to be made that he won't get as many targets, but that's okay. Higbee had 11 targets last week, and I'm not going to even speculate or say it falsely. I'll just look at it. Puka Nacua had 10. I think 10's a good number for him with Cooper Kupp in the lineup. I think Cooper Kupp will get like 13 targets, and I think Puka will get about 10 targets. I really do. I think Tutu Atwell will get about 6 or 7, 5, 6, 7, and then you're looking at Higbee getting, a couple here, like probably 4 or 5, and Kyren Williams getting like 3 or 4 targets. So I think there's still lots of targets to be had with Puka Nacua. I think defenses are going to have to focus on Cooper Kupp, and this is going to give him an opportunity to eat just as much as he has been. I'm not concerned about Puka at all with Cooper Kupp back in the lineup. I'm really not. I think it's a good thing. I think it's good for Stafford. I'm excited to start Stafford with that Cooper Kupp news, actually. I was waiting for that news, and I'm actually happy I saw it because I was having a little bit of FOMO about Justin Fields. That'll do it for Diamond Talk. We're going to move on to the pick of the night, the Bears versus the Commanders. The Commanders are -6 at home. And with that being said, I'm going to bring in the sharpest man I know on over and unders, the Vegas killer, a Tampa native, but don't get me wrong, he's lived out in Vegas. They'll give him a damn comp anytime he wants. Easy. Eric Lynn. Get up, let Eric come.
What's going on? What's going on?
What's up, baby?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
So the last time we talked, obviously we all saw that the damn fucking stream didn't go through. And we both you and John saw how pissed I was, man. I was pretty upset.
Definitely.
I was sad.
It was great content.
Yeah.
It was a learning tool.
Yeah.
It'll never happen again.
Speaking of that, though, during that episode, we talked about Vegas, man, and how they got hacked. And I don't know how many people actually know about that, but like, is there any update on that? Is there any resolution to like, and speak on like exactly what happened again, in case, because that episode didn't even air. And then maybe if you know any resolution that's happened since then.
They ended up paying. I mean, that's what Caesars did, and that's how they stayed in business.
20 million or what?
Something along those lines. And I mean, you got to play. It just exposed the weakness of like an outdated system, if you will.
So are they gonna like? Is it you think that that's gonna be able to happen again, or do you think that they?
I mean, it'll happen again, but it'll be like a better version of it. I mean, this was from a 10-minute phone call from a LinkedIn phone number from a help desk. So, I mean,
that's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, if that could happen, you know what I mean? So what are you gonna do as a company that's worth $20 billion?
Wow, that's incredible, man. So everything's resolved there.
Yeah, I mean, they paid, so for right now, they're not fucking with him, but...
So let's get right into it then, brother. What's the number tonight for the over-under?
I want to say 44.5 or 45. Is that where we're going with this?
Let's check it out here. 44.5, you called it.
Yeah.
Let's hear what your pick is, your reasoning, and, talk a little bit about your history in the game and what you do in as far as... all this is concerned, gambling, etc.
I've been around gambling for a long time. Kind of really heightened when I lived in Vegas. Met some, people in the network, and started from poker, then into sports gambling, and was always a fan with totals. It's just easier. Either you ride with or you just go against both teams. Like picking a team is just so hard.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's why they make so much money
Yeah.
having people do it. So it's a lot easier for both teams to not score dick or just air it out.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what's going to happen tonight?
I think it's a close one. I'm seeing something like a 24-21 Washington. Bears cover, I feel like.
So you're saying that you're saying it's going to be under then
It's under, but it's
by a half a point.
no, I'm thinking it's going to go over.
Over by a half a point.
Yeah,
45.
It's like some last minute at home. I'm gonna charge the field.
Bears are down, or Washington's down 4.
Yep.
And then they score and
They
go up,
score,
kick
and
the
then
extra point for 3.
Chicago's gonna do what they do.
24-21 by the hook, and Scott Van Pelt's talking about the bad beat.
Yeah, absolutely.
God, I fucking can picture that.
Yeah,
That's a good one. That's a nice looking hat, by the way. It matches my whole setup here with the Chicago Bulls hat.
I mean, I'm in the presence of Chicago. I got to come correct.
I love it.
What am I gonna do? Come in here with something from Tampa? I mean, I know you live here, but
you got the Jordan right behind you with the Bulls hat on.
absolutely,
too.
man.
Look at that thing.
I think it was 6 championships.
It ain't 5. So we got that. You heard that first here. Easy's gonna roll with the over tonight. I agree with that, by the way. I don't know about the 24-21, but I will say that I think that both teams are gonna be able to do what they want offensively. I think that there's an outside chance that Washington really fucking gets a grip on Chicago the first half and builds a lead. But I think that it'll give the Bears an opportunity to,
absolutely
get some garbage time points, essentially. So either way, I see it being an over. Washington hasn't really proved this year that they can stop a running quarterback, and they haven't really proven that they can stop anybody, to be honest.
Absolutely. Especially they're trying to run a game on Thursday night. Like, it's already bad enough to watch.
Yeah.
They got to score.
Yeah. For me personally, my pick of the night, I want to make this very clear. Out of all the Thursdays that I have done a pick, I am undefeated. Haven't lost on my pick on Thursdays yet. But I want to say that this is the first Thursday I won't be playing myself. I don't want to play this one. I think that this one is a no play. I think this is an extremely difficult game to cap. If this was a Sunday slate game, it would be a game you just don't even look at. It's like, I'm not touching that game. I can really see it going both ways. I think it's extremely difficult to go 0-5 in the NFL. The Bears have actually, the last time they went 0-5 was 1997. It's a very competitive league. To be honest with you, the first week against Green Bay, that game was a lot closer than the score said. It got a little out of hand, and it was a sort of a domino effect. And Aaron Jones made a couple big plays, or else that game would have been a lot closer than it should have. Against the Buccaneers, the Bears had a drive at the end of the game, and we all saw him throw that interception on the screen pass that the Bucs got in for a touchdown, and that was a game-winning drive for Fields, and it didn't happen. This past week, they were dominating that game, and then they had a chance at the end there again. Yeah, of course. But even with that being said, at the end of the game, they had a game-winning drive again, and Justin threw the interception. It was a tough third down, and I think it was a bad decision by Justin. I totally blame him. But at the end of the day, my point I'm trying to make is that they've had an opportunity to win 3 out of these 4 games. I don't think that they're as bad as the public thinks they are. I think the defense is absolutely atrocious, but I think the offense is a lot better than people are giving it credit for. I think people have kind of shitted on Justin in the public and in the media, and they don't really know all the facts. I think that Justin actually may have another great game tonight, and on the same token, just logically going off what I've seen in the NFL happen this year, and just me knowing my knowledge about football, I said this in the beginning of the pod, and I'll reiterate it again now. The Commanders have one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. They have 4 first-round picks on that defensive line. A couple guys from Alabama, a lot of SEC guys. The weakness of the Bears are in the trenches. They have an awful defensive line, and they have an awful offensive line. And that's a recipe for a disaster in the NFL. I think that there's Washington, being at home on a Thursday, that's always an advantage. If you point a gun at my head, I'm taking the Commanders -6 tonight. I think that is my official pick, Commanders -6. I believe that there's a very good chance that the Bears are, they're the worst. They're arguably the worst team in the NFL. I know their defense is the worst defense in the NFL. I just think that Sam Howell is going to be able to do what he wants. They're going to be able to run the ball, control the clock. And, it's a matter of, in my opinion, whether or not how the Bears look and Justin Fields look is if they're converting on 3rd down today. I think there's going to be a lot of 3rd and 6s for the Bears, a lot of 3rd and 9s for the Bears. And if the Bears are converting those, I can see them keeping up in this game and covering. But if you gun to head, Torres, I think that the Commanders dominate defensively. They dominate offensively, and they they go to 3-2, and the Bears go to 0-5. I got the over in this game. I feel more comfortable taking the over than I actually do betting the team, but my team pick is always what I'm going for on Thursdays, and in general, I'm always focusing on teams. So don't consider my over/under as a pick, but I would say that would be more comfortable taking the over tonight in a special situation. Commanders -6 is the official pick, though. I'm starting Commanders defense against the Chicago again in fantasy in the Diamond League. So, unbiasedly, I don't mind if the Bears struggle a little bit. We get Carolina's pick. We have our own pick. There's a chance we can get the 1st and the 2nd pick in the draft this year.
That'd be nasty.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Caleb Williams. I'm cool with that. So, that's the pick. What do you think, Easy?
I like it. I just think Washington's a better team at home. They're still carrying over from that Philly anger. I really feel like they should have went for 2 last week.
100%. That was
that
Riverboat Ron.
You did not live up to your nickname.
With all the momentum they had in a game that, they're a huge underdog.
Shouldn't even be there.
Yeah.
Like, you drove, you scored. What are we doing going to overtime?
Unbelievable decision.
Wow.
It was actually mind-blowing. And, the funny part about it is I had a little bit of token on the second half Philly. So I was thankful that they didn't go for 2. Because if they went for 2 and got it, they would have covered the second half.
Oh, wow.
So that was huge for me. And I wanted the OT because in my mind, there was no way they were going to win an OT.
And he must have got the phone call.
Yeah, the Vegas phone call.
Yeah, the phone call.
The script. They already knew before the game.
Absolutely. Viewership, baby. Viewership.
What do you think Pat Mahomes and Kelsey thought about the script when they found out that he was going to bang his knee up for week 1 and then he was going to fall in love with Taylor Swift?
I mean, there's Hollywood and then there's the NFL. I'll just say that.
Why not combine them?
Yeah, why not put 2 and 2 together?
You think Taylor Swift's a good-looking girl?
I mean, she's average. I mean, I'm not saying she's ugly. I'm not saying I've seen better, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think she's attractive.
Yeah.
And I also don't think that she is Travis Kelce's type. I think Travis is kind of has this very similar personality as me.
I mean, Travis looked like he went from John B to state trooper now.
Yeah, but he's just fucking around.
I know, but I mean, it works. You know what I'm saying?
Everything works.
Everything works.
Yeah, he's a big dude and he's good looking.
8 commercials. I mean, you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I think that's also a play on his coach Andy Reid. It's just a little fun thing. They both got the stash going.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Have you been able to see at all their podcast, him and his brother?
Oh, it's a really good podcast. They actually feed off of each other. It's pretty good content.
They crush it.
Yeah.
They're solid. That light went out, man. I finally fixed it, and that was the first time it went out in a long time. I had to change the tone of it, and but we're still pretty bright here.
Yeah, so we're live, so we're good this time.
Yeah, it's live. We had a bunch of messages coming in. They kind of died out at this point. Yeah, Randy, I don't know if you're still watching, but I'm definitely a Bears fan. Yeah, so as far as the NFL season is concerned, what have you taken from it so far? Who is your Super Bowl pick this year? I know we're already 4 weeks in, so you kind of have an advantage at this point. But give me your AFC pick, your NFC pick, and who you think's gonna beat who.
I'm just gonna go from top to bottom. I'm gonna go rematch of the Super Bowl from a couple years ago, Kansas City 49ers.
I think that's a great pick.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen.
I have the same exact one. And
Yeah.
who do you think's gonna win that game?
I mean, I gotta say Mahomes with the three-peat for the 3 rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the same pick as you, except I took 49ers in that game. I think 49ers bounce back.
I understand it, man. They got to win this year. If they don't win this year, that whole thing they got going on over there breaks up.
Is it?
Yeah,
I think
it's
they're
going to
all-
cost too much.
I think
next
they're
year.
locked up.
Are
though.
they locked
I
up?
think they're all locked up, man. Because Purdy's on a dime for them, so they can.
Absolutely.
So essentially, what happens is when his rookie contract's up, then they're fucked.
Yeah.
It's like at that point they got to go either
Mm-hmm.
they got to be looking to keep drafting quarterbacks,
Yeah.
which we talked about this earlier. And go ahead and you know let's bring that onto the air. What was your thought? What's your thoughts on Purdy and that quarterback situation, and what you believe anybody can do in that?
I like Purdy. I just feel like San Francisco is a well-oiled machine that if you get a quarterback that's competent that doesn't mess up, he's gonna do exactly that. Like if you're not turning the ball over, you're doing that.
Right.
I know we talked about it earlier off camera, but since we're on the topic now, I was thinking if you just swap out our quarterback right now for the Bucks, Baker Mayfield, I think he would probably thrive in something like that.
I think Baker Mayfield would absolutely thrive if he was the 49ers head quarterback. I agree 100%. I think actually Purdy and Baker Mayfield are great comparisons. They're similar size, similar skill set. I think that if anything, Baker's definitely more talented. So I believe that he would really thrive in that situation. I think even Shanahan could do a little bit more bootleg with him. I think that Purdy is absolutely perfect for that system, though.
He's great for it.
But I agree with you that you can interchange a lot of
Yeah.
QBs into that system. We saw how successful Jimmy Garoppolo was, and I think Jimmy's not good at all.
He's not. If he just limited his turnovers, it would have worked for him. But he was turnover prone.
Yeah, and they, wasn't able to stay healthy either.
Yeah.
So that hurt him. But yeah, you really just want a quarterback who's going to distribute out in San Francisco. They have all the talent in the world. They have a great left tackle, Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey,
He's a cannon.
Debo, George Kittle, and Ayuk. I mean, you really just want to distribute out there. You want to let Shanahan draw it up, and you just execute. We don't need anything fancy from you. We don't need you to make plays that you shouldn't. If it's not there, throw it out of
away.
bounds. Yeah, just play smart. Our defense is we have one of the most loaded rosters in the NFL defensively and offensively. You don't need to do anything but just do your job. The Bill Belichick way.
With that being said, I think they're gonna beat the bricks off of Dallas.
I like San Fran in that game too. I'm not going to give away my pick of the week on a Thursday, but I do like San Francisco. I will say that. What are your thoughts on Travis Kelce specifically with Taylor Swift, and what do you think about him as a player in the NFL? Or is he declining this year? I'm hearing a lot of whispers about that.
That's what it looks like. I mean, he commands so much attention, but he's not producing. Also, it's not his fault. Patrick's giving it to everybody else on the team. You know what I mean? So, give or take, I think this year is just more marketing for him personally than it is football.
So I asked you that question on purpose because I want to say that I think it's absolutely the worst take I've ever heard in my life from people out there that are saying Travis Kelce's on the decline. First of all, he fucking hurt his knee right before the season started. And it's a grown-ass man to be coming in back in week 2 on essentially a week and a half rest because that game it happened to him on a Wednesday. He played on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Took that game off only because it was the next day.
Right.
Comes back, mans it up, whether it was an hyperextension or whatever the fuck it is. We don't truly know. Could
Right.
be anything. And I think he's the same guy he always was. And this is a team that won the Super Bowl last year with the same talent, the same personnel. You
Yep.
lost Juju Smith and you lost Harden, but you replaced those guys with Sky Moore, Kadarius, and Ross and Rashad Rice, the guy they drafted in the second round this year. It's the same shit. You got the same running backs. Macheco looks better than he ever
It's like
has.
saying his name. It just sounds like some Russian shit.
Like,
Pachenko.
the people that are over agreed. People that are talking about Travis Kelce being on the decline,
Yeah.
they're out of their fucking mind. I don't think they watch the games.
don't.
I think on Sunday they go and get their nails done. I don't actually think they're watching the game.
They're giving you whatever ESPN is telling them to give you.
Is ESPN really spewing that nonsense?
They talk a lot of stuff.
Buddy, I believe Travis Kelce's going to go for over 103 touchdowns against Minnesota this weekend.
Oh, I think he's going to eat too.
Do you think, personally, now if you ask me about Swift, I think that he just wants to smash. I don't think that I think it's a clout thing. He just wants to smash.
But I mean,
As far as his brand is concerned, I don't believe that it's strategic at all. I think it's a coincidence. I don't think that he's thinking like, hey, I'm gonna get more popular because I date. I don't think he thinks like that because I don't believe he's that type of person.
right.
That's pure speculation. But I will say that I know Swift's not his type. Like, I don't think so, at least. And with that being said, I just believe that he just is gonna smash, and then a couple months from now, you're not gonna really hear about this anymore, and they're gonna move on from each other. I actually think that there's a good chance Taylor just wants to smash too. I don't think he's her type either. I don't think they're each other's type.
Some quid pro quo shit.
Like,
you
he's
know what I'm
kind of
saying?
hood. Like, he's kind of like cool. Like, he's not like that country white girl.
But I mean, we don't know that. I don't know that. I mean, I'm just thinking it's whatever it is, get money. That's all I got to say about that. Get
Yeah.
money. And that's exactly what they're doing. Viewership's going up.
I totally agree.
Get money.
I totally agree with what you said just a
Yeah.
second ago. Like, we don't really know.
Yeah.
And that's true.
Yeah.
We think that we know people because we see them
Yeah.
on TV. We think that we know people because we watch their podcast, but we don't really know
Yeah.
people. So
And just like, what we're doing on Fantasy Football Aces, who's to know we're not this and we're not that off camera? You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like,
for sure.
yeah.
I mean, me personally, I'm this dude on and off camera. So like, but that doesn't mean you know me because you watched a podcast. Like, you don't really know me,
Right.
Like, for all everybody out there knows out there, I could be a narcissist, and maybe I am.
I hear that, brother.
Maybe not though.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Right? It's all about perspective, right?
Yep. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong.
While I got you here, we got somebody who popped in. Bruh, they dating, nobody knows what they got going on. News and NFL blowing it out of proportion. They're people. Bruh, they dating, nobody knows what they got going on. I'm not really sure what he means by that.
I don't know.
I mean, I speak fluent ghetto. But bruh, they dating and nobody knows what they got going on. I guess like he just means, like the same thing I just said. They're fucking. But I don't think it's that serious. Like, bro, we like to fuck. Women like to fuck. Like, I think it's like one of those fascinations. Like, this big ass tight end in the NFL, and then she's a singer. Like, they just want to smash.
Doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. Both sides got hit lists.
Right. That's exactly the way I view
That's
it.
what it is, man.
But they definitely are blowing it out of proportion. It's kind of annoying. Did you see all those little things going around about how they were doing the little thing where the girl was like videotaping the dude, and they were like,
Oh,
Travis Kelce is so much popular now because Taylor Swift is dating him, and then the dudes will get like real mad.
Have
you seen them?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's doing exactly what it's doing. It's Monday morning cooler talk. It's keeping people talking about shit that don't even matter.
That's exactly what the whole
Yeah,
world.
that's
That's
a
what the
whole-
government and the NFL. That's
Everything, man.
they just want us to get on TikTok, Instagram. They want to watch. They want you to watch FFA.
Every day there's a new challenge. Today is national this day, national that
Bruh,
day. I can't
is that,
keep up, bro.
bruh, every single day is a holiday now.
I can't keep up. I'm sorry.
It's like Calvin Klein Day tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
What the fuck are they doing, buddy?
I don't know, man.
Speaking of that, like, if we go on a little bit of a tangent, I think that Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, they're all bullshit. Like, we just made up a day to do shit.
I mean,
First of all, Christmas is a religious thing.
it's to get people to spend money.
Right.
We're taught that in school. Like, we're never taught to save. It's like, hey, Valentine's Day, you need to go get chocolates and cards and shit.
Yeah. But you could do
Fits
that
into
any day. Like,
any day.
why the fuck does it have to be Valentine's
It's
Day?
to spend money. Then you got Easter. We're gonna do painted eggs and stuff. Easter hunt. Boom, another avenue of money.
Thanksgiving's good, though, bro. I love grubbing.
I mean, it's good, but are you excited to wait all year to eat some dry ass turkey though?
Shit, I don't know about you, but my dad makes some fire turkey.
But would you eat it like? I mean, once a year, right? You look forward to that.
Hell yeah. Bro, that's those sweet potatoes and fucking stuffing with the turkey, bro. Like, I make sure I don't eat that day because I'm gonna fucking go ham with thirds.
I feel that.
Them damn special K bars and cheesecakes for fucking dessert. That's that one day that your boy don't worry about his diet.
He might even drink a little soda today too.
Nah, no soda for me.
No soda.
Just water. But yeah, I mean, Bree's being good.
Yeah, she's knocked out.
She's a
tired today.
she's a character though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to the NFL. Let's like right before I went on that little tangent, I wanted to ask you a few things about the NFL. What are your thoughts first on betting in general this year, and what's the outcomes, like the public winning, the sharps winning? What's your perspective so far this year?
They're so strategic this year. Like a lot of times I see what week? Week 3? I want to say the Giants played San Francisco. Thursday.
Let's check. Giants, San Francisco. Yes.
Let's give the public some money Thursday night.
Yeah, my pick was San Fran that day.
Let's give them some money Thursday night, and then it rolls over to the weekend. Popped.
Yeah, it was ugly.
It was so ugly. Then this last weekend, what did they do? All 3 afternoon sessions, the public won. The 4 o'clock games, every favorite covered.
You had Cowboys covering against. You had the Cardinals the 49ers backdooring the Cardinals.
Yes.
You had the Cowboys covering against the Pats. And you had the Chargers covering against the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yes, those were very easy ones.
They paid it out in the afternoon just to snatch it right back at night with the Jets.
Yeah, though. Yeah, yes, agreed. The Chiefs were...
That little slide at the 1 yard line, I heard a bunch of boos and a bunch of cheers at the same time.
It was smart to do that, though.
Absolutely.
I don't even mean it from a betting perspective.
I mean, if the line was 2.5 and not 7.5, then it'd be a different conversation, right? It's because of the line is what creates anger from certain parties.
Oh, yeah. I always look at things from a purely football perspective.
Football way, it's a smart play.
Yeah, Pat
Absolutely smart play.
Mahomes knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but betting wise, you want him to fall in the end zone and score that touchdown.
I have a guy out there asking me, "Are you playing DJ Moore half point PPR?" Absolutely. Who are you gonna play instead? There's not many guys that are better than DJ Moore. I don't think there's any way you take him out of your lineup. I mean, unless you have a lot of good receivers on your bench, I don't see any way in heck you could ever take DJ Moore out. As far as divisions are concerned, let's get your picks on divisions. You got the East with Buffalo, Miami, New England, and Jets. Who's gonna take that division?
Buffalo.
Yeah, you think Miami that they made a statement against Miami this past
It's
week?
no statement. It's it always comes down to this every year, and we know who advances, but we also know who doesn't finish either.
What about in the West? Kansas City rolls.
Yeah.
North, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. Is Cincinnati bounce back? What's going on there? Let's hear your opinion.
I mean, his leg hurts. Can't plant, so he can't deliver the ball, right?
His calf.
Yeah.
He's not able to do the little extra play, the little extra
That little
improvisation.
fancy, that little Macaulay Culkin running around the house shit. He can't be doing that, right?
So who's your pick in that division then?
I have to go with Baltimore.
Yeah, I picked Cleveland in that division before the year started.
Yeah.
And Baltimore's really showing me something. But you know what? Baltimore does this every fucking year. Speaking of teams that don't finish.
Right.
They started off hot last year, too. I'm going to stick with my Cleveland pick. I think that missing Deshaun,
Let him bounce
even
back
though
a
I
little
think
bit.
he sucks, I think he sucks, but what they have behind him is even worse. I think Deshaun and leads that team to a division title this year. And, you know, he's probably going to hit the massage parlor after.
I mean, at 285 or 65 million or something like that. I mean, that's a lot of massages.
You just let that joke slide right over your head?
No, I said that was a lot of massages. That's why I asked how much he was making.
Oh, shit. All right. In the South, we got the Colts, Texans, Jacksonville, and Tennessee. Houston and CJ Stroud. How they look good, don't
Bro,
they?
he
I mean,
looks good.
I've been ranting about it plenty enough.
Bro,
but let's
boy,
hear what you have to
nice.
say about that.
He's nice.
Have you caught eye of Nico Collins yet, or is he still not on your radar?
He's not on my radar.
He's not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put him on your radar right now. Nico Collins is a star. He's big as fuck, 6'4". He runs like a 4.5, 4.4 sub. He has great hands. He looks like almost like Calvin Johnson out there, man. And that's
Got
high
hands
praise.
like him?
Yes. He's not as big and as fast because Calvin was 6'5" and probably ran a 4.3.
Right.
But he's damn near up there, dude. Like he reminds me of like a prime Mike Evans right now, like with better hands though. And that says a lot too, man. I'm giving him real high praise right now, but I'm just letting you know I'm putting him on your radar. Nico Collins and CJ Stroud with Tank Dell. It's a great looking team right now. I love what they got going on. Who's your pick in that division?
I'm gonna go with the Rook. Go CJ Stroud.
Yeah, man,
Houston,
I don't blame you for that.
Yeah.
In that division, I picked Jacksonville to start. I'm going to stick with them. I think they'll get it going. Last year, they came on strong at the end of the year. The last 7 or 8 weeks of the year, they went undefeated going into the playoffs. Got that crazy comeback victory in round 1 last year.
Oh, that was insane.
Yeah, so
That was insane.
I think they'll get it going. Doug Peterson's a great coach.
They're in London again this week,
But
so they're gonna cover against the Bills.
Yeah, but
It's
it wouldn't surprise me if Houston won that division, though. I do believe in CJ a lot. In the NFC, we got Philly, Dallas, Washington, and the Giants. Is Philly going to keep a headstrong?
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly. We already established you like San Francisco. In the North, you got the Lions, Packers, Minnesota, and the Bears.
Man, Ford Field, man. I have to go with the Lions.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see them get a division.
Yeah,
or
do something.
This is coming from a Bears fan, but
Yeah,
it'd be nice to see
I
the
like
Lions
that coach,
get a
man.
division winner.
That coach is like, I don't know, he looks like Stone Cold's brother, but
Dan Campbell.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a hoorah kind of guy. I don't think he's an actual schematic X and O guy, but he's been
good for morale.
He's been around
players
football
coach.
his whole life, man. He's been a tight end for a long time in the league, and then he was a coach a long time. Underneath other fellow, he was underneath Sean Payton, I believe. So he's got a lot of experience, and I think he's a really good morale guy, a really good hoorah guy. I think that he knows what he's doing. He wants players that are going to play hard and work hard. I think St. Brown's a perfect example of that. And I agree with that on that pick. I picked them before the season started. I'll stick with Detroit on that one. And then in the South, you got a surprising Bucks team who's really, really playing well. They're playing good football. A huge surprise to me personally. Atlanta, New Orleans, and Carolina. My pick before the year started was Atlanta, but I'm really starting to lean Tampa Bay.
Got to fire the cannons.
Fire the cannons! Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Evans, touchdown, Tampa Bay. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Yeah, man, I don't blame you for that pick. And then, do Do you think it's going to be a San Fran Philadelphia NFC Championship, or the Lions maybe sneak up in there?
I'm seeing San Fran Lions.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I like that one too.
Yeah.
What about in the West? Who meets up with Kansas City? The AFC, I should say.
It's gonna be the Bills.
Bills KC. That'd be
Yeah.
a fun one to see
Yeah.
again, man. They've never disappointed us in the playoffs.
It's like we know who's gonna win, but it's still good to watch it through.
Absolutely, man. Have you looked at all at the Sunday slate on anybody you like besides San Francisco?
Let's take a look right here.
Let's get your hot pick for Sunday, and then let's get out of here.
Sounds good. I'm gonna go with the Jaguars over there in London against the Bills.
Okay. I don't disagree. You seem like you always have like a hot take on these overseas games.
Yeah, that's the Jaguars are like their home team over there. They play better there than America, so for some reason they'd be winning.
Yeah. All right then, guys. That'll do it for Fantasy Football Aces Thursday Night Football. The hot pick of the day, undefeated Thursday night, is the Commanders -6 against the Bears. That is non-biased. I'm a Bears fan. I'm sitting Justin Fields for Matthew Stafford this weekend, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't start Justin if you have him out there, guys. I still think he's a sharp play against the Commanders. That'll do it for tonight. I'll see y'all Sunday with the hot pick of the week and my DraftKings lineups. Peace.